Hello and welcome to your Reiki session. For today's session, I wanted the intention to be working through heavy emotions, things like grief, hopelessness, despair, depression, anything that kind of holds you down in place, is hard to move away from, that's really stagnant energy. And so we're hoping to hold some space to work through some of those emotions. And then hopefully allow ourselves to release a little bit of that weight so that we can feel better. If you're new here, my name is Bree and I go by Tip of the Moon, and I am a Reiki master healer and teacher, tarot reader, all that fun stuff. So thank you for being here. So I usually start my sessions with a general cleanse, usually smoke or spray. But for today's session, I wanted to work with this rattle, and I got this rattle off the Rattle Maker on Etsy. It has some rose quartz here, but a lot of rose quartz chips inside the rattle. And I love this one just because it works so lovely with the heart space and allowing us to break up and cleanse through any emotions that are sitting right there, kind of disrupt any of that stagnation in our energy body. So I'm going to be working along the energy column with this rattle. And especially in the lower chakras, a lot of our deep trauma from childhood, fears, things like that can sit really low in the energy body. Okay, and let's just kind of generally clean out this space, kind of put us together. I'm going to bring in, this is a piece of petrified wood, and I like it for its patience and sort of gentleness in working through things. Bringing this in to allow us to just kind of sit with our grief, sit with our emotions that are feeling heavy and overwhelming. A lot of times when something's overwhelming, we don't engage with that emotion. We choose disassociation, avoidance, and because we're not moving through or processing, working with, acknowledging those emotions, they stay with us. They make blockages, energetic blockages, they create stagnation, and they in general seem to sort of pull our entire body down. And you'll know this when you've been feeling overwhelmed and you end up in this sort of depression pile, when you're feeling too much emotion and not giving it enough space to be acknowledged and move through. I also want to say that not every emotion can be released in these small sessions, but we hope that as long as we are providing that space and continuing to engage with those emotions, that eventually we can start to let them go. And if not that, we can at least move past the stagnation period. We want to not feel ourselves drawn down by our grief, by our anger, by our fear. We want to see ourselves expand and move towards places that heal and provide hope. So that's a little bit of an explanation. That's a little bit more wordy than I normally do, but I wanted to be clear with my intention as to what we're trying to do with our energy. And so for this small moment, just kind of sitting with, and I promise I'll be quiet, so perhaps you can move through some stuff, but just kind of sitting with these emotions, acknowledging them. If you are having them, they are valid, they come from somewhere. Don't say it's silly, don't avoid them, don't try to overcome them. Just will yourself not to feel these heaviness. Allow yourself to sit with it for a moment. And it can be helpful when sitting with something heavy to place a hand on your chest, a hand on your heart, to steady yourself and make connection, and to breathe through those. And that can apply anywhere at any time. Whenever you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, try putting your hand here, just breathing for a moment and seeing if that doesn't give you a 5%, 10% relief at least. As we move through the session, I'm going to be bringing that energy up. A lot of times deep, heavy emotions kind of settle into our lower chakras. That's why we feel heavy. That's why we feel stagnant, able to move through things. So I'm going to be moving that energy up. So I'm bringing in this little sunstone point. And as we bring this energy up the chakra column, we want to work it, we want to kind of alchemize it, or at least turn heavy grief, fear, whatever, into other forms of energy. So turning it into action sometimes can be helpful, turning it into something we do for ourselves, something we do for others. Getting that to start moving can be helpful in overcoming some of those energies and emotions. So I'm bringing in this sunstone point, and sunstone is full of hope and optimism. It is helpful for connecting with the solar plexus, helpful for reconnecting with our will and our wants and our sort of solar energy within, helping us activate ourselves. It can be helpful to express this energy through action. And in that process of expression, we release some of its hold on us. We promote flow of energy. And we also build new roots within our energy bodies for energy to flow. And kind of think about it how we build neural pathways in the brain. We're looking to do that with our energy body to form new connections, new outputs, new expressions. And so as I work with this, perhaps thinking about ways that you can take those stagnant emotions and act on them. Sometimes that can be sort of a physical movement, go for a walk, an angry walk. That can be moving through dance. That can be going somewhere and doing something, helping someone, allowing someone to help you. Any of those ways that we can physically connect or move through an emotion. If we're dealing with grief or loss, it can be helpful to bring that into our physical world, creating an altar, lighting a candle, having a vigil, having a physical display of your grief, pulling it out of the body, putting it somewhere to engage with, creating an expression. And if you're dealing with stagnant emotions like hopelessness, depression, a lot of times physically taking care of our bodies, reconnecting with just simple stuff, a shower, some good food in the belly, a comfy blanket, a stuffed animal, any of those kind of physical comforts, physical caretaking tasks can be so helpful for moving that away, that depression out of the body, some of that despair. Reminding yourself that you also need to be cared for. Sometimes when I'm struggling with self-care, imagining myself as like a pet. And you know, you probably to do everything you can to take care of a dog or cat or another pet, and giving yourself that same attention, even if you need to imagine yourself as a pet that needs to be taken care of. Whatever helps you connect with that action. Perfect. So that is a little bit of, yeah, there you can see the sparkle. Sunstone point, and so bright and luminous, hopeful. So I have some blue lace agate, and this is a beautiful stone for the throat chakra. And as we're moving that energy up the body, the throat is another opportunity for us to literally express that energy from the body. Our expressions, our ability to communicate, to draw, to dance, any of those things are a wonderful release of energy from the body. So every time you let it all out with a friend, put it all in your journal, that is a process of expressing that energy out of the body and combating that stagnation or that tendency for the energy to draw us down, to make us small. We want to take these heavy emotions and alchemize them into something that can change us, change our environment, change us, and move us away from those grief, depression, stagnation, those things. So I'm going to click these together to kind of spark that as much as possible. And perhaps as I am doing this and working through this area on your energy body, thinking of outlets or ways that you can take what's happened to you and express it outside of your body through art, through writing, through journaling. I don't care if you burn it afterwards, but to just get it out of your body, to express it into the world. And if you are having trouble thinking of ways that you might express or communicate your emotions, perhaps listening to music that aligns with those emotions can sometimes be helpful in unsticking that. A lot of times songs are created out of an emotional place, and so that can help you sort of break through some of those stagnations that you might feel in communicating. Okay, so those are 2 blue lace agate pieces that lovely Amy sent to me, as well as working with the throat chakra. They also just feel really soothing. Like, it's not meant for you to go outside screaming at the top of your lungs, but perhaps prompt you to journal and move through some stuff to soothe some of your energy. Okay, so I'm also going to bring in this Grape Agate that lovely Amy sent me as well. And using this as we're bringing the energy up the body, working in the crown and third eye, and hoping to kind of expand ourselves. As I said in the beginning, heavy energy tends to constrict us. You'll notice that when you feel tense, you'll notice that when you're feeling anxious and shaky. A lot of times that heavy energy has a way of pulling us down into hopelessness and despair. And so we want to bring that energy up the body. We want to use it and alchemize it into changing how we connect, changing how we perceive the world, allowing us to take what we have experienced, the emotions that we're feeling, and expand us, connect us to other people that have felt similar things, find community, find education, find hope, change how we perceive things going forward. Basically, we want to take whatever we're feeling, that down energy, and hopefully express and expand us, allowing us to tap more into that collective energy, that ability to change, ability to heal. If you have gone through something traumatic, something that is really difficult to work with, someone else probably has as well. And the two of you could help each other. The two of you could connect and heal together or share experiences. When we open up our crown to that expansion, we open ourselves up to finding other ways to approach things, that you're not alone, that this doesn't need to cut you off, that this can be something that connects you. And as you're healing from things, as you are changing and alchemizing this energy into something else, know that that story, that path that you have walked is most likely so inspirational to someone else further back on that path, that journey. And the more that you can share and connect and educate to learn, the more that we can kind of hold each other up. And really opening up the crown here at the end. A lot of times just opening your crown up, and I know that sounds so goofy to a lot of people. They're like, what does that mean? Bring your awareness to the top of your head. What do you feel there? And for most people, there's an instant sensation of sort of tingling and connection. Not to mean that's the only way to experience that, but honestly, just bringing your awareness to this space, right? Not actually, the top of your head is maybe inaccurate, but right above your head here. And just bring your awareness there for a moment and notice a little bit of a shift, whether that's physical sensations or a sense of calm. And really understanding that that is a connection to this divine consciousness, and that by just kind of sitting with that awareness, sitting with it open for a moment, can allow such a beautiful energy to flow into the body. And just like anchoring your hands on your heart can help alleviate heavy emotions, bringing our awareness up here and opening up the crown chakra can be really reassuring. It is a reminder that you are not alone, that you are a divine being experiencing life in all its beautiful disasters. And that should open you up. It should expand you, connect you, help you find humanity, help you find empathy, compassion, connection. Not isolate. Well, I think that feels a little bit better. Again, Grape Agate from lovely Amy that sent it to me for all of us to use. And I appreciate it so much. I wanted to thank you all so much for being here, for showing up for yourselves, and for trusting your energy in this space. I appreciate you all so much, and thank you for allowing me to do this work. Here are some of the ways that you can support my channel. I appreciate you all, the likes, the comments, the subscriptions, joining on my Patreon. All of that stuff is so helpful for me to continue to make these videos. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.